Good morning. I'm coming to you a little differently today. I wasn't able to create a live video on the Blue Lotus page. That's happened before. I don't know what that's about. So I'm on my page and then I'll share it to Blue Lotus when we're done. So you may or may not be seeing this right now if you usually go to Blue Lotus. So something we have to get worked out. So this morning, it's September the 23rd, and it's just a beautiful day here. It's still cooler. I was working with a Florida group last night on Zoom, and of course they're still very much in summer. And here, I was telling them I wore a long sleeve shirt yesterday, so that was rather remarkable after such a long hot summer. So today we have a beautiful early fall day. We might go back to some hotter days, but it's just lovely to have this weather this time of the year when we're getting finishing the summer and moving into fall. So today we are on day 16 of our pilgrimage into India to see the sacred sites of the life of the Buddha. And we're reading from Ken Visaki's edition of it's a Pilgrim's Companion, readings from Buddhist texts to enhance a pilgrimage to the sacred sites. And they live in Sri Lanka now. They're from the U.S., but they've taken many pilgrimages to India over the years, and I'm sure to all of the special sites in Sri Lanka. And they've gone on their own, and they've gone with groups, and they've also led people there. So they've put together a pilgrimage with text that can be read or reflected on when they're at different sites. And I love pilgrimage books like this, and they really are inspiring, because you can just imagine being on that trip with them and being at those sites where there may be shrines and lots of activity going on, or they might just be in a spot where it feels like you're right back 2,600 years ago. And it's a good place to sit and work with your practice. So to read something from the teachings of the Buddha, or read from a teacher, listen to a guide talk, or often I've seen in Sri Lanka there'll be monks that are leading groups of students or pilgrims around and just talking about the site to them, but also teaching them dharma that might relate to that spot or what was going on in the Buddha's life. And it's inspiring. I haven't been to India myself, so I like this. So today the reflection, it's day 16. The reading is the simile of the 6 animals from the Samyutta Nikaya 35 to 47. And the reflection is, be familiar with death. And that's very short, but it has some poignant messages. So you can sit while I'm reading and just be in a meditation position with your eyes closed, and just begin with your focus on your breath. Just observing your natural breath, calming the body, relaxing the body. And that's where you can start if you'd like to, and then we'll just, with any time we have left over, we'll just continue with our meditation after the readings. The simile of the 6 animals. The Buddha said one should develop restraint of the 6 senses. Now remember, in Buddhism we also include the mind as a sense, so that's why we have 6. There's our mind, which includes all of our thinking and processing, and our sight, smell, hearing, taste, and our body contact. Suppose that a man caught 6 animals: a snake, a crocodile, a bird, a dog, a jackal, and a monkey, tied each of them by a strong rope, and tied the 6 ropes together in a knot at the center. Then he let go of the ropes. Those 6 animals, having different domains and different feeding grounds, would pull in 6 different directions. The snake would pull one way, thinking, "Let me enter an anthill." The crocodile would pull another way, thinking, "Let me enter the water." The bird would pull another way, thinking, "Let me fly up into the sky." The dog would pull another way, thinking, "Let me enter the village." The jackal would pull another way, thinking, "Let me enter the charnel ground." The monkey would pull another way, thinking, "Let me enter the forest." When these 6 animals became worn out, they would be dominated by the one among them that was strongest. They would submit to it and come under its control. In the same way, when one has not developed and cultivated mindfulness directed to the body, the eye pulls in the direction of agreeable forms and is repelled by disagreeable forms. The ear pulls in the direction of agreeable sounds. The nose pulls in the direction of agreeable odors. The tongue pulls in the direction of agreeable taste. The body pulls in the direction of agreeable tactile objects. The body pulls in the direction of agreeable mental phenomena and is repelled by disagreeable mental formula. Let me just close my door. We have asphalt paving going on outside. So that's an unagreeable sound, so my ears were leading me then. So it is with non-restraint. When one sees a form with the eye, if that person is intent upon a pleasing form and repelled by a displeasing form, that one dwells without having set up mindfulness of the body. And that person does not understand as it really is that liberation of mind by wisdom, wherein those evil, unwholesome states cease without remainder. Oh, I missed something. I'm sorry. Okay. When one sees this, I'm going to start all over with this paragraph. So it is with non-restraint. When one sees a form with the eye, if that person is intent upon a pleasing form and repelled by a displeasing form, that one dwells without having set up mindfulness of the body and does not understand as it really is that liberation of mind by wisdom, wherein those evil, unwholesome states cease without remainder. It is the same for hearing a sound with the ear, smelling an odor with the nose, tasting a flavor with the tongue, feeling a tactile object with the body, and cognizing a mental phenomenon with the mind. Now suppose that a man caught those 6 animals and tied each of them by a strong rope. Then he tied the 6 ropes to a strong post in the center. Those 6 animals would again each pull in the direction of its own feeding ground and domain. When they became worn out, however, they would move close to the post and rest. In the same way, when one has developed mindfulness directed to the body, the eye does not pull in the direction of agreeable forms, nor are agreeable forms repulsive. The ear does not pull in the direction of agreeable sounds. The nose does not pull in the direction of agreeable odors. The tongue does not pull in the direction of agreeable taste. The body does not pull in the direction of agreeable tactile objects. The mind does not pull in the direction of agreeable mental phenomena, nor are disagreeable mental phenomena repulsive. So it is with restraint. When one sees a form with the eye, if he is not intent upon a pleasing form and repelled by a displeasing form, he dwells having set up of mindfulness of the body, and he understands as it really is that liberation of mind by wisdom, wherein those evil, unwholesome states cease without remainder. It is the same for hearing a sound with the ear, smelling an odor with the nose, tasting a flavor with the tongue, feeling a tactile object with the body, and cognizing a mental phenomenon with the mind. The strong post represents mindfulness directed to the body. Therefore, you should train yourself thus. We will develop and cultivate mindfulness directed to the body. We will make it our vehicle and our basis. We will exercise ourselves in it and fully perfect it. And again, that's from Samyutta Nikaya 35, 247. So we train this body in mindfulness. So there are no agreeable or disagreeable things that we're moving between. And here's the reflection. And just continue in your meditation posture, just allowing this reflection to allow it lightly into your mind. Be familiar with death. Understand death. Be familiar with death. Death approaches. Just as each step a calf takes towards the slaughterhouse takes him closer to death, so death approaches with each passing day. Death is inevitable, like the sun, after rising in the east, moves steadily to set in the west. Death is like a river, always flowing, rushing downstream. Death is like the drop of water on the tip of a blade of grass, evaporated by the sun. Death is like the stream that dries up in the summer, leaving only its banks bereft of water. Death is like water poured into the sand, disappearing without a trace. Death is like the overripe fruit that finally falls from the tree. Death is like the clay vessel which the potter smashes with his hammer. Just as a mushroom emerges with a cap of soil, when we are born, we carry. Oh, and we have a misprint. Let me just imagine. Okay, just as a mushroom emerges with a cap of soil, when we are born, we carry death. So be familiar with death. This is not to be morbid and not to cause us to be depressed, but this is just to help us wake up. This is just to help us realize life is precious. This life is precious. And there's a lot we can do to learn how to find true happiness, to be awake, to find ourselves, to wake up to the Dhamma, to wake up to the beauty of the world and the reality of how precious and short our lives are. and do as much as we can with these lives. So it's a topic for our contemplation and just for our awareness so we don't waste time. So why don't we sit together? We still have some time. You can close your eyes if that's possible, unless you're in a place where you're in charge of something and need to have them open. So if your eyes are open, you can let them be kind of directing your gaze downward. So your eyes are rather half open. We want some distraction from everything visual, because that visual captivates so much of our attention. Close your eyes if you can. Be aware of the body breathing. Let your posture be upright and uplifted, so you can feel your spine just stretching up. If you're on the floor, if you're on a cushion or a chair, if you're in bed, you can still meditate. You can find a comfortable position where you can stay awake. So don't fall asleep yet. Observe your breath. And our awareness is on the body breathing, and we can observe that sensation of the breath either around our nostrils and just right up a little bit inside in that area above our upper lip, or you can observe your breath in your belly, because you can feel the belly rise a little bit as you inhale, contract as you exhale. And it's easier to feel that movement. It's a more basic awareness. It's a little bit more difficult to catch it around your nose. It's a very light focus. Feel your presence in your body. A reading is talking about that mindfulness of the body. So often we spend our days with no mindfulness of the body. So we're often led by whatever our strongest sense is picking up on during the day. We may be constantly thinking about something and just going from one thought to the next and being led around by those sometimes random thoughts. We might be distracted by things that we hear or listening to, or sounds we're paying attention to, and that might make us happy or unhappy. can always spend the day just chasing around whatever our senses are bringing to us, whether we like it or not. And practicing with the body, our mindfulness with our bodies is a way to tame those senses. When we practice, when we sit, we can allow our body to take in all of the sense input coming in, that data coming in from outside. But one of the things we're training in is not to judge, not to really desire whatever those senses are bringing in. We're learning not to act on them or have a viewpoint about them. Just let them be, whether it's a noise or a thought, whether the air is a little too cold or a little too hot. Just let everything come and go just the way it is. You can allow thoughts to arise. Don't try to repress your thoughts, but remember you don't have to act on them or engage your attention with the thoughts. They are just, it's just another sense organ. So just allow the thoughts to come and then allow them to go. Everything to just rise and fall away. Now, if you can continue on, please do. My time with you is up for today. I'll be here tomorrow. But if you can sit longer, a few minutes more, or 15, 20 minutes more, just keep sitting. And today is a good day to practice mindfulness of the body. The body is very important in our practice. So thank you for being part of my practice. May everything we do or say or think today be done for our own benefit, and also may we send it forward for the benefit of all other living beings. Thank you.